Welcome to Truly Wicked's Flosstube. I am Ava, also known as Truly Wicked Crafts on Etsy, Tumblr, Instagram, and I'm Truly Wicked of Y over on Twitter. If you are a returning viewer, whether from like the podcast I was doing before or from last episode of this Flosstube, welcome back! And if you're brand spanky new, hope you enjoy the crazy. So, it's been a week. I am shocked at myself that I actually am hitting it up exactly a week after. Not much has happened, real life wise. Things are pretty, still steady. Though I do have a story later. I do have a little story later. But I've gotten plenty of stitching done. And I do not have any finishes. Well, technically I sort of have a finish. Although it's not like the full pattern. Because I decided I was just going to do a little part of the pattern. Babbling. But I have no finishes. I don't have the FFO that I wanted to get done last time, the Biscornu. Because I could not find an appropriate button. Or appropriate buttons. What I wanted to do was I wanted to find little white teacups or little white teapots to use as the buttons. Sort of the same way that I did the spiderwebs in the corner Biscornu with the witch shoes. I couldn't even find any online. They were all silver or black, and I don't have time to paint a black teapot white. I don't have time for that. But, so I don't have the FFO I was hoping for. I still have not found the itty bitty jingle bell. It's driving me nuts. I do not want to buy a whole pack. I would buy a single 6mm jingle bell. I would. In fact, that would be all I would buy. I am that sort of person. But I don't want to buy a whole pack like you can buy from Mill Hill of 6mm jingle bells when I'm only going to use one. I'm not going to use any more than that. So, I don't know. I'm still trying to find it. Hopefully I will succeed in finding it eventually. So, since I have no FFOs and I have no finishes, except for the one, which is also on a Q-snap because I also have a whip on the exact same fabric. So that'll be the I guess I'll go ahead and show the finish and then I'll show the whip. The finish is this. This is the top part of the Little House Needleworks Farm Fresh Cherries pattern. And it's on the called for linen with the called for thread. It's all DMC on 32 count summer khaki Belfast linen from 123 Stitch. And there be the pattern, like the full pattern. I did not do the cherries. I did not do the farm fresh. I just did that part. I just did the top. Because of the old truck. It's a Mother's Day gift for my mom. She really likes old trucks. She likes old trucks, unicorns, the color purple. She's a purple fanatic. And it took her a long time to convert me to not going, ew, purple. but she managed it. As you can see, I'm now okay with wearing purple. So, that's the only finish I've got. Onto the whip on the other side. Can you see that? It's also a Mother's Day gift. This one's for my granny. For my granny, off of part of the stash that Granny gave me. It's out of this little leaflet from Leisure Arts, Backyard Visitors. And in Backyard Visitors, you have a cardinal, you have a blue jay, and you have, I think that is a bluebird and not a robin, even though it's, because if I remember correctly, bluebirds do have like the little red breast. And I'm going to warn you ahead of time, I may sneeze. It's officially spring, so there's pollen everywhere. My sinuses hate it. Shocker. But what I am doing for my granny is this one down here. Can you see that? Yes. I am doing the hummingbird. And I'm just doing the bird and some of the little pink flowers there. I am not doing the whole thing. No. Ain't happening. I don't have time. I do not have time to stitch the whole thing before Mother's Day. So that's the start I got on it last night after I finished this, which neither of these have been seen on Instagram. I wanted to share it with all of you first. That is actually literal. I was saving. I didn't take a picture to show Instagram because I was sharing it for the YouTube, for the Flosstube. I got a fair amount done on my Beetlejuice back panel. And as you can see, I got the words all done. And I finished one whole side of the lace pattern. The lace pattern, if I did not say so last time, is by Play-Doh Squirrel on Etsy with another actual Beetlejuice pattern. And it's going to frame the whole stinking thing. And I may put like little green beetle bugs, like from the Beetlejuice cartoon, sort of scatter them in and around there. So I may do that, I may not. I'm leaning towards doing it, but I may change my mind. I'm a changeable sort. And of course, my last whip is the Peace Angel. I got the skin done. Lordy, I never want to do 1/1 on Ada again. Ever. But here, allow me to... Yeah, all the skin is done. And I got all her hair done. The little blank spot up there is going to be like the flowers that are in the hair. And I got the first color of her wings. Let me just pull that on in there, back there. I got the first color of her wings all laid in. And I started on the second. And I finished her top. And I don't know about you. It's called The Peace Angel by Leslie Tier. But I don't know about you, but those look like fairy wings. They look like fairy wings. It looks like a fairy, which is a big part of the reason why I went, ooh, gotta stitch it. So, and the needle minder is from Veil Stitchery, my little David the Gnome needle minder. So yeah, I like, it's pretty. Originally, the plan for the wings was to make them like bluey aqua, but I decided to change the wings to purple because I'm going to give it to someone. And I'm not going to say who they are because they may very well watch this. But even though they do like blues and aquas, they're not their favorite. So that's it for the whips and the faux. No FFOs. I did have a visit from the brownies. Both shop and gift varieties. My aunt sent me a message on my phone, and she said, "I found something for you at the thrift store." My aunt is a champion thrifter. She actually has this plan to convert like an empty bay of the garage. It's a 3-bay garage. An empty bay of her garage into like this little weekly garage sale shop. And she thrifts, and she packs that thing full. So she was thrifting, and she came upon this. Yeah. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a tackle box. You know, if the Magnum by Plano is a tackle box, or if it's like an old meant-to-be floss container. Not sure. But you see all that in there? All of that is DMC floss. All of it. Y'all, I just about lost my mind. I walked in and I saw that, and my jaw went, hit the floor, rolled out the window. And I don't know if this sticker on the back is accurate or not, but if it is, then she only paid $4.99 for this. She asked me how much a single skein of floss costs. I told her, depends on where you get it. If you get it at like Walmart, then it's about 42 cents a skein. If you get it at Joann's or Michael's, when they are not having a sale, then it's probably going to run you about 52. And it's these kinds of bobbins. And they fit like literally perfectly in here. If this is not a container meant for these, then boy, it was perfectly picked, because a single one of these floss keys, can fit between the little divider sections, so you can like divide. And I've already got like 2 of my stashed patterns like almost completely kitted up just from this. Really. It blew my mind. But that is not all that the brownies brought me. The shop brownies were first like roaming around in needle case goodies, because needle case goodies is amazing. Amazing. The prices are good. The shipping is holy moly fast. Like, y'all, you make an order and it either ships out the next morning, not the next afternoon, the next morning, or it ships out the afternoon you make the order. It's insane and incredible, and it's like angels singing. So, I have a stash pattern. It's one of the first ones I bought. It is the second pattern I ever bought myself. And it is this. Birds of a feather, remember me. And it says, when I am dead and buried and all my bones are rotten, when this you see, remember me, lest I should be forgotten. I have tried to locate that frame because I like that frame. Can't find it anywhere. And it does have like a phone number on here, and I'm just like, oh, phone call. It's all Weeks Dye Works, and it does have a DMC conversion, but I really like the look of the Weeks Dye Works on this. So I have some that I actually ordered when I ordered the pattern, but the rest I did not have. So when I was roaming through needle case goodies, I got almost all the rest. Needle Case Goodies had all but one that I needed. All but one. And the floss is all I got at Needle Case Goodies because the floss was all I needed from Needle Case Goodies. I didn't see any patterns or any fabric that made me go, ooh, gotta have it. So Shop Brownie delivered that to me. The Shop Brownie also, from when I ordered the Farm Fresh cherries, I also ordered 2 of the Weeks Dye Works that I needed for that pattern. Needle Case Goodies came after 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Then, because Needle Case Goodies was out of the last color that I needed for Remember Me, I searched on Etsy and I found it. It is the color Blackberry. And it's like pretty burgundy, maroony, purple-y. Like, deal. And I bought it from Dames of the Needle. And that is all I bought. I bought 1 skein of floss. That's it. And I know it's kind of weird to just buy a single skein of floss from an online store. Because you want to make, because you're paying the shipping already, you want to at least, like, you know, make it worth it. You know, if you're going to pay the shipping, you want to get just enough that you don't have to pay more shipping. If that makes sense. So rarely does floss travel alone. But I went all through the entire Etsy shop of Dames of the Needle. Through the entire thing. And I looked at the fabric, I looked at the patterns, I looked at the trim, I looked at everything. I looked at all the threads. I compared all the threads to other patterns I have, and it was just like, I don't need that now. I'm not going to need it for a while. Or it was, I just didn't like the way it looked. For like some of the fabrics, I didn't like the way it looked. Others of the fabrics, they weren't a large enough cut. That's the way it goes. So I just bought one little bitty skein of floss from Dames of the Needle, and they were also very fast shipping. So, makes me happy. Then, the crazy Shop Brownie decided to rear his head. And you know it's a crazy one because it's a he. That's just a joke. I don't think. But the crazy Shop Brownie reared his head, and I bought fabric. From, where did I put that notepad? There it is. Lost the notepad. I bought fabric from Jackson Fabric Arts. I did not write that down. Good grief, what is wrong with me? Well, I think it's Jackson Fabric Arts. It is a linen weave. The fibers are not linen, but the weave is similar to linen, like the way linen is woven. It is hemp fabric. Now here's where the crazy comes in, people. It's 54 count. I bought 54 count fabric because clearly I have lost my mind. I wanted to try an obscenely high count of fabric because that's what I do. That's how I roll. So I bought it. Here it is. Here's the first cut. There's 3 of these. They are think 18 by... You would think I'd prepare myself for this, but no, clearly I did not. I think they're, I don't know, 18 by 14? Not sure. Not sure. But there's 3 of these for $15. Whoa. I couldn't believe that you got all 3 for $15. But yeah, there's this one. And just look at that modeling. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it will be used. And I have already like sort of figured out that stitching 2 over 2 on this is about the equivalent of stitching 1 over 1 on 28 count. So yes, or not stitching, stitching 1 over 2. Stitching over 2 threads would be the equivalent of stitching over 1 thread for 28 count. I am insane. There's the first one. Here's the second one. I think if I convince myself of it, I think that this will probably be used to stitch my mama unicorn. Probably. For next year. Her birthday. Unless I like get through everything I want to get through this year first. And then this very dark purple fabric. Now, I'm going to give my best shot at stitching on these. Absolute best shot. I want at least one piece stitched on this 54 count fabric. Under no circumstances whatsoever am I going to try to do 1 over 1 on this. No. No. But I want to stitch at least one of those. If I cannot, if it's too difficult for me, or I'm not enjoying the process, or I pretty much every 5 seconds want to throw it across the room until it hits the wall and slides down, possibly into the cat's food. I know, cringy. Then I will give up stitching on the 54 count, and instead I will use it to make a bag. Because they would make pretty bags. But I'm hoping that I can stitch on it and that I will enjoy stitching on it. If not, oh well, gave it a shot, right? And the last thing that the shop brownies brought comes with the story. Alright, the Beetlejuice. For the little lacy frame, I'm using a lot of black, and I don't want to use all DMC 310 because that's 52 cents a skein, and I don't think so. Not for that amount of black. And I am pretty much about. I have like maybe 1 yard left of my Paxco El Cheapo floss. So I know Walmart carries bulk packs of black and white. So I asked my mom, Mom, can we go up to Walmart? Or as the fantabulous Donna Ray of Flannel Jammies Farm calls it, Mordor. I love that. She calls it Mordor. So I asked Mom, would you mind taking me up to Walmart? She doesn't mind. So, as long as she doesn't have to get out of the car, she's cool. Even though she just got off work. So, going to Walmart, get my floss. Didn't take long at all. Check out. Now, it's a super Walmart. So you have the garden center where my mom parked. Because she always parks down at the garden center. Because there is shade there and a retention pond where there are geese and ducks. And then you have the two entrances, like the main entrance that's right smack in the middle, and right at the far end, the grocery store entrance. Well, I check out up near where the other two entrances are. And as I exit, I am walking down the outside of the garden center. And this is Florida. I don't know if, like, in landlocked states or states that are much, much, much farther from the sea than I am. Because I gotta tell y'all, if we're talking a car ride, not a bus ride, a car ride, I am absolute maximum 30 minutes away from the beach. I live on pretty much the opposite side of town as the beach, but at maximum, I can get there in 30 minutes. So it's pretty much spitting distance for a beach chicken, as I like to call seagulls. So there is not a single parking lot in this entire city that does not have seagulls. Not one. Not a single one. There are seagulls all over this city. I'm pretty sure we have more seagulls than we have pigeons. Pretty sure. So, of course, there are seagulls in the Walmart parking lot, and I don't mind the beach chickens. I don't mind the seagulls. As long as I don't look up at them and they don't poop on me, I'm good. I'm walking down the outside of the garden center. And I see an associate come out, and he's got one of those Lay's Stacks cans in his hand. And you know what? It's pretty much like Lay's answer to Pringles. And you know, when you finish or sort of finish a can of Pringles, you have like maybe a couple of whole chips and a whole lot of crumbs left in the bottom. Most people that I know will eat the whole chips and then for the crumbs. Apparently, this gentleman was not of this opinion. The associate steps out of the garden center. He sees me. I know he sees me because he looks right at me and smiles. And it's not a, oh, hello, how are you, smile. No. This is the biggest sugar honey iced tea eating grin I have seen in a long time that this man gave me. He opens his mostly empty can of Lay's Stacks. Looks at me with that grin, bends over, and I'm like, no, he is not. He does. He dumps it out like right in front of me in the cart. When there is a flock of seagulls flying around. Any of you who have ever encountered seagulls, you know what happened. Any of you who have ever seen Finding Nemo know what happened. The seagulls converged on that little pile of potato crumbs. It was like a scene out of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And right as he starts to shake the crumbs out, he looks at me and goes, "You better run because they coming." Y'all, if I had not had a million seagulls bearing down on my fluff, I would have done that man grievous bodily harm. Like, he could not wait 30 seconds for me to push the buggy past the garden center to feed the birds. What? I told my mom when I got to the car, and she just started laughing. I don't know if she was laughing at the situation or if she was just laughing at me, because it freaked me out. I don't mind seagulls. I don't mind them. As long as they don't poop on me or dive bomb me. And that was essentially what was happening as I was going past, as this dude dropped the crumbs right in front of me. Is I was getting dive bombed by a bunch of seagulls going for the potato chips. What is wrong with this man? And sadly, this Walmart, this is not the worst of associate attitudes at this particular Walmart. I'm not going to say which Walmart it is, but it sucks. Mordor is accurate. But I got my floss. So that's a good thing. I still wanted to kill him. Lordy. What goes through a person's mind when they're doing that? Why? Why would you do that? Ugh. So that's my story for the week. Fun times, right? Everything else, I've just pretty much been stitching, doing my daily life, and watching Flosstube, of course. I wouldn't say I'm fully caught up on all the episodes of the people I told you about last time. This time, I found 3 new people. First one is Stitcherista, who I'm sure is like legendary throughout the community. But I just found her, so, you know, gotta talk about her. And I really like her attitude. And she's fun. She's got great tutorials. Her stitching is amazingly beautiful. And today I just started watching her most recent Stitchy update. I only got to I don't know, maybe 20 minutes in. Not sure. Before I had to get up and do things. So I had to pause and I'll come back to her. But she actually got as a gift a kit that I bought the pattern for a while ago. And it's the Folk Foxes from World of Cross Stitch over on Etsy. As per usual, I will link in the description bar. Go watch Stitcherista's most recent and you'll see it. It's gorgeous. And I really kind of hope that she stitches it soon, because I'm hoping to get ideas for different Ada from her. Because I don't want to stitch it on white. White is boring. Sort of. White can be good for projects, but I don't want to stitch it on white. I really don't. So I've been watching Stitcherista. I fully intend to watch every last one of her Flosstube videos. Since she has over 200, this will take a while. Long while. And I started watching the Primitive Stitcher, whose name completely escapes me, leaking out my ears and pulling down on the ground. Brain fart. They happen. But I don't know if I'm much of a primitive stitcher at all. I mean, there are primitive patterns that I do look at and I go, oh. But she actually enabled me to purchase the Mermaid Silkberry from Erica Michaels. because I like mermaids. And she's got a very gentle voice. And she's very good to just sit and stitch along with. Just sort of chill out and have a nice little zen moment. And then there is Calico. On Instagram, she's Calico Whimsy. I know that. But she's a birdie stitcher. She stitches a lot of birds. And she does a lot of like Halloween type stuff, which I love. I love it, I love it, I love it. And she's a very... There's like... When it comes to Flosstubers, there's the people like Maui Jen and Stitcherista and Amy DeVille and Christine and Leslie Terre who have, I can only call it bite. They're very nice people. They're very nice Flosstubers. But there's just that little fine edge to what they do and say, if that makes sense. It's not a mean edge at all. It's just like, yeah, I don't have... I don't know how to put this right, but it's just the little tiniest hint of a bite, which is part of what makes watching them fun. It's part of the reason I love watching them. Part of the reasons I love watching Flosstubers like Donna Ray and the Primitive Stitcher and Reading and Stitching, whose name, again, I completely blank on. Y'all, what is wrong with me? And now, Calico. If I remember correctly, her name's Christine. Not sure. But there's Christine of Stitch All the Things, who's one of the ones that has bite. And there is Christine, I think. It's Christine of Calico, who is in the Zen and Calm, I think would be the best way to put it, section of Flosstube. There's the section of Flosstube where it gets fired up and energized. I think that puts it better. And then there's the section of Flosstube where it's zoning out and zenning. And you can just sit back and stitch and it's a nice chill moment. That's what Calico. That is the way I feel when I watch a Calico video. Calico Flosstube. I can zen out. And yes, every time that she shows a pretty, I do look up and go, ooh. But she's a nice person to just zen out with. Beg your pardon? Because I do have manners. And those are the 3 Flosstubers that I have been watching of late. Other than ones I'm already watching. So that is all, and wow, under 40 minutes. Shocker. Thank you for spending time with me. Comment, like, subscribe if you wanna. I hope that you have wonderful stitchy times, and your week goes wonderfully. Hope life treats you kind. Take care, y'all. Bye.